Okay, folks, this is a big deal. We're back to Capcut, and today we're doing keyframes in Capcut, and keyframes are going to change the whole game. This is a whole different story, guys. You're going to go to the next level. There's almost nothing you can't do once you master keyframes. Let's go. Okay, so before we start with keyframes and jump right in, what are they? Let's describe them and define them so we can understand what we're doing. So keyframes relate to a change in the video over time, a difference between one time slot and another as it moves ahead. So let's look down here at our screen, and you can see we've got a timeline. I've got two clips on here for us to play with today. And as we move from left to right, we're going from the start of our video to the end point, right? So this is time, and we're seeing it change. Now, if we wanted to see something change over time, we're going to highlight the clip, and our screen comes up here. And you'll see this thing, it says transform, and add a keyframe. So what that's doing is it's identifying a place and time in our video. Okay, and in this case, it's the very first clip, and we're going to highlight that. And it's going to allow us to change anything and record that over time. We're going to zoom in on the sign so we can read what it says. We've got the context of our scene here. Now we want to read it. So how do we do that? We've marked a place in time, and it's going to be that shot at the beginning of our video. And then what we want to do is move ahead in the timeline and say by here, we want it to be zoomed in to, let's highlight the clip again. We want it to be zoomed in that close. And of course, now we have to move it too. So it has to be moved down to there. Those are two different elements that we're changing in this space of time. We're changing the size, the scale of it, and we're changing the positioning within the screen. Now that we've done that, let's go back to the beginning and play it and see what happens. Starting at the R.B. Young Riverside Trail, and great, that's fantastic. You just learned how to zoom. Now you can do this in any situation that zooming is going to be important. Now it can be a zoom for a cinematic effect, a zoom in on someone's face. You can do all of this in post. What we're doing here is post-production. We've already shot our video, now we're producing it in the editing suite, and this is post-production. Now let's go back to the beginning again and play it one more time. I'm going to take the sound out because we're not going to need that, not for right now anyway, so we're going to remove the sound from both these clips for now. But let's play it. Okay, that was a nice, slow, easy zoom in to get the information more clear on the screen that we could read the signage. Now, what if we wanted that to happen faster? What I'm doing is highlighting that second keyframe that we put in, and I'm moving it back toward the original starting point. And now what you'll see is a much faster zoom. It can be as fast as you want. It can be instantaneous if you want. But you are in complete control of this. So again, what we did, highlight this, grab the keyframe you want to move. We can move it way out. And now, when we start, it's a very slow, gradual zoom in that pretty much takes up most of the clip and finally lands there. So you can, are you seeing the possibilities of that? Oh my gosh, there's so much stuff you can do with these. So what we've done first is simply zoomed in and repositioned the picture. Two things. Now, let's go back to this clip, and we're going to take out what we just did. We're going to remove all those keyframes, get rid of them, and now we're back to square one. We're right at the beginning, and we haven't done a darn thing. Okay? So we're at square one. Now, instead of hitting transform up here, we're not looking at position and so forth. We want to make some adjustments to it. And now what we can do is come down here, hit adjust, and you'll see those little keyframe diamonds again. Now I can make it so that the only thing that these keyframe adjustments are going to do is a specific element. So in this case, let's hit saturation. Saturation means how much color is there in this thing. And we're going to gradually make this a black and white video. So how are we going to do that? We've hit our keyframe. Now we want to go ahead in the video a little bit. And we're going to hit there. And now we're going to take all the color out of this picture by that point in the video. And when we go back to the beginning, watch. Starting at the R.B. Young Riverside Trail, the color is gone. Isn't that amazing? So, any element of that clip that you want to alter over time, you can do. And you can do it individually. Now, every time that I set a new keyframe, let's say I set it here, I can go up here and, I got to highlight again. I can go up here, come back down to saturation, and bring it back up, and even add some. This time we're going to get a little brighter. You can see the colors get a little brighter here. So now when we start the video, watch this. Starting at the R.B. Young Riverside Trail. There goes the color. And here it comes back. This is the start of my new journey. Are you seeing the possibilities of this? It's pretty incredible. All of these, pretty much any element of your video that you want to alter, you can alter over time. So, when we're looking at, let's take a look at this video here. And we're going to hear, today for our voiceover work, we're going to be using the Comica VM30. And what we've done, as you can see right here, this is a USB port. Well, that USB port is kind of hard to see, don't you think? I think it is. So, what are we going to do? What are we going to do about that? Let's see. VM30. And what we've done, as you can see right here, we can bring this up. Port. And we're going to be using the Comica VM30. And right there, we're going to hit our transform button. Puts a keyframe there. As you can see right here. Now, I want to zoom in on that USB port so I can make it more obvious to you what we're looking at. So the scale goes up. We move it down so that the USB port is in the frame better. And this is how it will look. Comica VM30. And what we've done, as you can see right here, this is a USB port. And we've plugged a USB jack. Now you know how I make these videos and how I zoom in and move around into this workflow to emphasize certain things for your understanding. That's a great example of a great use of keyframe use. Now, there are millions of different ways to use keyframes. This is one of them. But this is the tip of the iceberg, guys. You can do anything on this stuff. Let's look at something else that we might be able to do. Let's go back to the original clip and add a sticker to it. We're going to add a butterfly. All right, this is a nice monarch, and we're going to add him into the mix. So what we want to do, watch this. This is going to be fun. So we're going to start with the butterfly off the screen. And first, we're going to make him a lot smaller. We want him to come in from the background right there. Hit transform. And now we've set our keyframe. As we go in, we want the butterfly to come into the screen. So there we go. And we're going to make him just a little bit bigger, just a touch.
Starting it.
Now we're going to have him move again. About here. Get a little bigger. All right.
The R.B. Young Riverside Trail.
Now we'll get him to here and make him a lot bigger.
And
now he's going to start flying away. And when you fly away, you get smaller.
It'll be the least expensive.
Whoop, a little far.
New journey. Let's see what happens.
Okay, so we got to move him again. We're going to move him here. Make him a little smaller. Okay, and now we want him to fly off the screen. So let's move him right off the screen that way. And now, let's see what our new video looks like. Well, look, there's a butterfly.
Starting at the R.B. Young Riverside Trail. And this is the start of my new journey. Let's see what happens.
Are you starting to see the possibilities of this thing? Wow, this is amazing. You can generate stickers, and they can be controlled by keyframes. Your main video source can be controlled by keyframes. Even your audio can be controlled by keyframes. Let's see how that's going to work. So if we go to audio and we add music. Okay, let's use one of my faves. Okay, we're going to put that in. So now, get it at the start. So now,
starting at the R.B. Young Riverside
that is
Trail.
obviously way too loud. Way too loud. So let's go down here and we can set keyframes. And what we're going to do is bring the volume way down.
And this is the start of my new journey. Let's see what happens.
What I think I want to do actually with this is cut it, because there's a lot of dead space in the beginning of this clip. So let's start it over. And what you're going to do is play a balancing game between your two audio tracks.
As you can see right here, this is a USB port.
So we can balance these two against each other and make them find that perfect equilibrium of the two sources. Right now, I think this is probably a little loud, so I'm going to bring it down a little bit.
That has a USB connection will be great.
Now, what just happened, though,
is this
is
Comica VM30.
it's still too loud over here. It didn't bring it down before that because we have keyframes on. So when I put that in,
USB connection will be great.
you heard it slide down and get quieter. That is automatically putting in the keyframe in the audio section because you have it in that mode. So wherever I stop it, and this can be really helpful because let's say there's a section where I stop talking. Let's go up here.
They'll do a great job.
Now the reality is I turn down the sound so you don't have much sound left. But now it would be helpful if right about there, yeah, right about there, we brought the volume back up a little bit. So now we put a keyframe there, and it's telling it to bring the volume up.
Right now, I'm recording into the Video Mic Go 2 on the camera. But the Video Mic Go 2, it'll be the least expensive option of those four. But all of them do a great job.
Actually, let's do something else. Because what that did was that keyframe was put in there, and it started all the way from here and gradually built up to there. Well, that's not what we want. We want the sound to come up right there. So let's say
Comica VM30, the Video Mic Go 2,
this is the spot that we want to have the keyframe is right there. Okay, so now our keyframe is there. And what we want to do is bring the volume up now in a second keyframe. And the reason we're doing both of those is because the first keyframe is saying we didn't do anything. So it's saying, okay, yeah, continue the status quo from here. The second keyframe says, go to here. So this is what it sounds like.
But all of them do a great job.
So you can see, you can program in the rise and fall of the sound if there are sections that you're talking and other sections that you're not. And you can have the sound follow you and fill in the empty sound blanks that you've left behind. So those are keyframes, folks. This is magic. Every filter, every effect that you see, even transitions, all of those are built using keyframes by the developers of those elements. So this is the key to the internal workings of an editing suite. This one element is magic. Take advantage of it. Start playing with it. There are millions of things you can do with this. We may revisit this later. This is a quick introduction to what keyframes are and how you can use them to effectively excite your audience with much more interesting videos, more motion. I'm like you. I've got maybe a year head start on you. I'm not an expert. I'm an old guy making videos. This is this was an incredible thing for me to learn, and it suddenly opened up the possibilities of what video editing could be for me, how much I could really actually accomplish when I got into editing. Keyframes, man, lady, do it. Get into them. They are awesome. So if this was helpful, give it a thumbs up. You know what to do. Subscribe to the video. guys, we're on a little bit of a tear. We're up over 220 subscribers and we're still growing. So thanks so much. Spread it around. Leave comments. I really got to hear from you, because if I hear from you, I can make videos you'll like, because I'll know what they are. So help me out. Give me some direction, and let me help you. That's it. So until the next time we meet here on The Older Creator, I will see you.